C.J. Huntley and Justin Absent. Mustafa and Huntley to jump it up. We're underway. Coastal Carolina wins the opening tap, and they'll control first here inside of the Holmes Convocation Center. Our officials, Tony Green, Landon Brandis, and KB Burdett, as Mustafa misses it from close range on the opening possession.
Little intimidation by Justin Absent right there. Shot blocker for the Mountaineers.
Donovan Gregory surveys the floor. Thought about it. Now Mantis looking for space. Shot clock's at 13. Huntley, long two on the way. Absent, offensive board. And the Mountaineers will hit the reset button. Open look, Huntley from distance. Can't knock it down, and Antonio Day pulls in the rebound.
And here they come, Kendall. They want to get up and down quickly.
Mustafa trying to go to work inside, muscles his way up. Shot altered by Absent, but right back into the hands of Jimmy Nichols. John, this is a guy, he may be the most underrated player on this Coastal Carolina team right now.
Yeah, I tell you, normally he comes off the bench, Kendall, but with Will Akai out tonight, he's been put into the starting lineup. I'm watched them play a couple times, scouted some film. He really jumped off the film to me. He brings a lot to the table for the Chanticleers.
A deflection and a steal for the Mountaineers. Tyree Boykin, our player to watch tonight for the Mountaineers. Absent high post. Can the Mountaineers find it offensively tonight? That's the question.
Well, what they're going to get is they're going to get a lot of wide open three-point shots. Coastal, what they do is they dare you to beat them from deep, and you got to do it the entire 40 minutes before they'll come out and guard you.
Henry Abraham, number 13 in teal, brings it up. Baseline J, Nichols off the mark. Mustafa trying to fight for the rebound. Quick outlet, Gregory, and the Mountaineers are off and running. Mantis, open look for three, you betcha.
And that's a guy right there that Coastal has got to find. Appalachian's most consistent three-point shooter thus far, shooting at 37% clip, but he can run off a bunch of points real quick if you don't find him.
Into the paint, acrobatic move, he couldn't finish at the 10, tapped around and Boykin has it. Donovan Gregory, size advantage on Abraham. Absent, thought about it, he'll pull up.
Yeah, he's going to have to take that shot, Kendall, because Mustafa's not going to get more than 3 feet away from the basket till he knocks one down.
This will be a fun matchup inside tonight. Mustafa, size advantage inside on Boykin. They couldn't get it to him. Nichols from deep. Yes, sir. Jimmy Nichols has the first 5 points for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, he's not known as a three-point shooter, only 25% on the year, but he's got a beautiful stroke. Watching him shoot it during warm-ups, he didn't miss very many of them, Kendall.
That's a guy that's really come into his own. And how about this? Jimmy Nichols, he's a local product from Conway, South Carolina. His third Division I school. Started at VCU, then transferred to Providence. He's made an impact for Cliff Ellis and the Chanticleers. Gregory, fall away Jay, cash money.
And that's where Donovan Gregory does his work, right there in the middle of the lane, right on the Sun Belt Conference logo. Got to get him involved early when he has a big game. The Mountaineers are tough to beat.
Udajay trying to get past Mantis. Abraham, catch and shoot. Yes, sir. 2 made threes for the Chanticleers. Coastal Carolina 1-1 in the conference after their first 2 games. This conference a logjam at the top right now as Boykin fades away. Abraham wants to push the tempo. Coastal will run and gun. Shot fake for Abraham and bumped by Mantis. That's his first, team foul number 1.
Yeah, Mantis has got about 5 inches on Abraham. He's got to stay back and make him make that shot.
We'll take a timeout. 15:47, 8-5 Coastal Carolina.
Shots Like I said before, Coastal's going to let them stand outside and shoot until they make a couple. Coastal, they've got to get points off turnover. Mountaineers' last 2 games have not fared well against pressure, and the Chanticleers are an elite offensive rebounding team.
Terrence Harcum off the bench knocks down to 3 for the Mountaineers. Abraham off glass, you betcha. Little kiss on the floater. And Coastal back up by 2. Henry Abraham's got 5 of the 10 Coastal Carolina points to start. Jimmy Nichols had the opening 5 points for the Chanticleers. Those 2 combined for all 10. Gregory elevating. Huntley back up on a second chance. Couldn't clean it up.
Yeah, he's got to take his time and stick that back in at 6'11". You can't be missing those bunnies that close to the basket.
Abraham, he's got that type of range. Hits another one. Henry Abraham.
Boy, he is feeling it. And he's taking it to the basket and stroking the threes. Mountaineers have got to keep him out of the lane, but they also got to find him on the perimeter.
Active hands. Brown took it away, and an easy lay-in. And Dustin Kearns not happy with what he's seeing right now. Coastal with their largest lead of the game. Mantis off a curl. Sets his feet. He missed everything. He thought he was fouled. No whistle.
Yeah, I think he slipped on his plant or he got his feet tangled up with somebody. Obviously, he didn't have any balance on that shot. You're never going to see him shoot an air ball. We'll take a look at it here. Nah, nobody went around anybody, but I thought his plant foot slipped a little bit.
This is a long, athletic Coastal Carolina team. And a turnover. Brown threw it right to Mantis. Numbers for the Mountaineers. Mantis lowered the shoulder. He's called for the charge. Chanticleers basketball with 13:54 to play in the first half. Something you'll notice tonight, these are 2 teams, John, that will play 10, 11 guys deep in their bench. You mentioned Coastal Carolina will run. They'll get out in transition. This is a team that's got some shooters. When you talk about Abraham and Nichols, blocked at the rim by Pearson. And Xavion Brown is bumped, trying to drive baseline.
I think Xavion Brown's going to be a factor tonight. One of the few Mountaineers that can really square up on you on the perimeter and keep you from going where you want to go. Mountaineers are still getting carved up. Chanticleers are getting into the lane pretty much at will, and that's not going to bode well for the Mountaineers, tonight. They've got to find a way to keep them out of the lane.
Good drop off inside. And double dribbles called. A turnover back to the Mountaineers. Good stand by Dustin Kearns' crew.
DJ Bassey for Coastal, he doesn't get a lot of playing time, but I think with Will Akai out tonight, he's going to be forced to play some minutes. First time he touched a double dribble, not a good sign for Cliff Ellis, and he gets Mustafa back in there real quick. Mustafa's going to have to play big minutes tonight.
This Coastal Carolina team, both these teams really challenge themselves in the non-conference. You look at Coastal, their record right now at 7-6. Of course, Chanticleer faithful, they really feel like they're a much better team than their overall record shows. Huntley left it short on the J. Boykin, good drop off, the dish to Pearson, and he finishes.
Coastal gives up a lot of offensive rebounds. That was in the scouting report. Mountaineers taking advantage of it.
Day for 3. And a turnover right back to the Chanticleers. Hey, what Coastal Carolina really doing what they want right now to the Mountaineers, John.
Yeah, they've got control of the game. The Mountaineers have got to dig in and, like I said, protect that paint. That's such a big key. They've got to find a way to, in this pack line defense, I mean, it's all based on protecting the middle of the floor.
Whistles, and they're going to go over to the scorer's table. KB Burdett pointed toward the shot clock.
Yeah, it didn't move.
KB Burdett, this is a veteran officiating crew. Tony Green, Landon Brandis, and KB Burdett with us tonight.
Yeah,
they do a great job.
Yeah, these are guys you see in SEC games and ACC games, big-time officials.
They get it to Mustafa at the elbow. Hand back off to Day. Brown sets his feet. Off the mark for three.
Nice double screen action on the backside to get Linton Brown that open three.
Boykin. Good movement off the ball to get open. Active hands, though. Brown stayed with it. And the flush. Dustin Kearns wants a timeout. He's the only coach in Division I history to win over 170 games with 4 different Division I programs. Just one of the greats when you talk with anybody across college basketball. The name Cliff Ellis, he's certainly made an impact on the sport.
Well, 900 wins for the career, and he's won everywhere he's been. He never had a losing record anywhere he's been. I mean, what can you say about a guy that's been around that long and just continues to win?
Tyree Boykin hits it from 3. Much needed coming out of the timeout for Dustin Kearns and his Mountaineers. Shot to clears have made 5 of their last 7 shots. Brown kicks it. Open look. Blackman can't connect. Day, he'll square up again from deep. And out of bounds. Last touch by the shot to clears.
And I tell you, Coastal really does a good job of moving off the ball on the backside. Makes it very, very difficult for you to find your man and box out, especially with the Mountaineers not switching a lot of screens. Defensively, you know, you're trying to stay with your man, you get bumped off, and it gives a running start to an offensive rebound. And that's why they're so tenacious on the offensive glass.
Coastal Carolina, a team that they'll play man-to-man about 93% of the time. Notice, though, that they do go underneath a lot of the screens on D, and they switch a lot, John.
Yeah, they play soft on the ball. They play soft off the ball. I mean, they're playing man right now, and it looks like they're playing a 2-3 zone.
Gregory, floater, in and out. Tapped back, no. Pearson cleans it up.
Tamell Pearson has really given Dustin Kearns some good minutes tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Linton Brown surveys the floor. Got 2 Browns on the floor. Jamaru and Linton. Jamaru kicks it back to Linton for 3. Tapped out. This one's saved. Jamaru lost it. Right back to the Mountaineers. Gregory. Blocking foul called on the shot that clears.
Yeah, Mountaineers got lucky there. Didn't have numbers. Donovan Gregory kind of forced the issue a little bit. Didn't have anybody to kick the ball outside to.
And foul charge to Linton Brown, the senior from Delray Beach, Florida. Just a second team foul on Coastal Carolina here in the first half. Tyree Boykin. They work it around. Walker open from 3. Tapped out of bounds. And this will go back the other way to the shot that clears.
Tell you, next time down the floor for the Mountaineers, they've got to take a good look at who's guarding Xavion Brown, the uber athletic guard for the Mountaineers. Last time Abraham was on him, and that is a big mismatch if you can get Brown the ball in the lane.
Jamaru rises for 2. Smooth stroke. for Jamaru Brown, the Durham, North Carolina native. A couple of Durham, North Carolina products on this Coastal Carolina roster when you talk about Antonio Day and Jamaru Brown. Pearson kicks it. Extra pass, Gregory. Inside, they feed Pearson. Good ball fake. Blocked away by Nichols. Xavion Brown back up. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Mountaineers.
Good spacing by the Mountaineers on that possession, Kendall, but the ball's just not moving fast enough. They've got to get it moving. That's how Georgia Southern the other night took advantage of this sagging defense. They just moved the ball so quickly, and they got wide open threes. Mountaineers are getting threes, but they're not good looks.
And KB Burdett going to convene with Mustafa and Pearson for just a moment. Pearson off a curl.
Nice,
drops it right in.
Nice patience by Donovan Gregory to let that play develop.
How about Tamell Pearson with 6 early points for Appalachian State?
You know, Dustin Kearns has been telling me all along that Tamell Pearson's going to come out one night and have a double-double and just get after it, and this might be tonight.
And there he is again on the defensive end. And Pearson's all fired up. The arrow going to favor the Mountaineers.
And he's a very, very emotional guy. Everybody on that team loves him. He brings a lot of energy, and they're feeding off of him right now, Kendall. Brown needs to post him down. There you go. Get him the ball. Now go to work.
Pearson, there he is again. Make it 8 points in the first half for Tamell Pearson.
And that's the beauty of putting a point guard like Xavion Brown down there. He'll find somebody if he can't get his own shot.
One of his biggest games of the year was at Louisville, the Mountaineers' 1-point win. He was electric in that one. His minutes have dwindled the last couple of weeks, but tonight has made his presence known in the first half. 22-19. App State from 12 down are back in it. Roster, a deep roster that plays 10, 11 guys night in, night out.
And he's got 6 guys that are new to the program getting a lot of playing time. So I think he's done a great job of mixing those guys. I don't think he's come up with the lineup that he likes yet, that he was ready to go with, but guys are fighting in practice. They're trying to get playing time, and you know, and he's going to figure it out before March gets here. I can guarantee you that.
Mountaineers forced a 5-second violation. I'll tell you what, the Mountaineers have really changed the momentum since being down 20-10. At the 11:47 mark of this half, the last 4 minutes, they have turned the tide on the Chanticleers.
Well, I tell you, the Mountaineers are so consumed with getting back on transition defense. When they're getting these offensive rebounds, they're not getting a quick three.
Walker, open look, fight for the rebound. This one picked up by Antonio Day. Mentioned Antonio Day making his second career start. His first was Saturday. He led the team with 15 points in the game against Georgia Southern.
And I tell you, Day is a dynamic driver of the basketball. Physically strong, looks like a fullback out there.
Bassey couldn't get the turnaround to go. Pull up Jay, Gregory, you betcha.
And I'd like to see Donovan Gregory do a little bit more of that. The way Coastal is just sagging back, you literally can just walk right up and step into a shot, which is exactly what he just did.
Nichols calling for it. Trying to spin on Gregory. Goes baseline. Trying to drop it off, disrupted by Walker.
Yeah, Nichols probably should have shot that ball. No room in there to make that pass.
Walker, open look for 3. In and out, and Day skies for the rebound. This is a 6-0 run for the Mountaineers, but it's an 11-2 run when you go back over the last 4.5. And the Chanticleers have gone cold. A scoring drought of over 3 minutes. Gregory steps back, and App State has the lead at the 23-22 mark.
And if I'm Donovan Gregory, I'm just going to keep shooting. Just let it go.
Coastal Carolina really needs a bucket right here. Udajay had it poked loose. Day thought about it. Long rebound for Nichols. And Udajay's fouled from behind.
Well, I tell you what, Coastal Carolina, they crash the boards. They're so long and athletic. They just find a seam and they just get to the basketball.
Mustafa back in. Jamaru Brown back in. And Cliff Ellis will leave Henry Abraham and Josh Udajay back, leave them on the floor for the Chanticleers, along with Jimmy Nichols. Nichols had the first 5 points. He hasn't scored since. And Mustafa's fouled by Absent.
And I'm going to tell you, Kendall, I can't tell you, watching film of Coastal Carolina, how dominant Issam Mustafa can be if they will just consistently get him the basketball. It's like he disappears for 8 or 9 minutes of the game, and it's not anything he's not doing. He's in there working hard. They just will not feed him the basketball.
Jamaru Brown looking for the baseline, was cut off by Brown and tapped out of bounds. App State basketball. Mustafa thought it was off the Mountaineers. And Xavion Brown will bring it up the floor for the Mountaineers. Boykin catches it at the elbow off a screen. They work it to Huntley. He missed everything on the three.
Yeah, C.J. Huntley, he's been sitting over there with Coach Kearns for a while. Probably should get more into the flow of the game, get a little sweat going again before he jacks up another three. Get inside, mix it up with Mustafa.
C.J. Huntley is 0 of 5 from the field in the first half.
Yeah, he's got to find other ways to contribute if his shot's not going in. And he can. He's long, lanky, defender, good rebounder.
Shot clock's in single digits. Nichols, catch and shoot three. In and out. And Absent pulls in the rebound. He's fouled.
Well, I tell you what, it's a good thing they blew the whistle because Absent's about ready to rip off Udajay's arm. He got all tangled up, and he's not going to win that one against the big fella.
Udajay, the culprit on the foul. That's the third team foul in the Chanticleers with 4:11 to go in the first half. Kendall Lewis, John Reister here with you tonight. App State at JMU on Saturday night. Nationally televised game. This one here tonight, you hate to call it a must-win the first week of January, but it is just that. Brown, the pickpocket, and Brown, the finish.
That's the third time he's done that tonight. Wow, is he good off of the basketball.
Absent, throw down.
Poster him, big fella. Put two guys on his poster on that one, Kendall.
Looked like he was dunking on a Nerf basket at home. Just
Holy
threw it straight
smokes.
down. They feed it to Mustafa inside. He faces up on Absent. Trying to get it up and over. Off the back of the rim as Nichols pulls in the offensive board. Fight for the rebound. Still loose. Out of bounds. App State basketball.
A lot of one-handed rebounding. Go up with two hands, guys.
This entire season. No one's hit it yet, but it was done tonight. Happy New Year to that young fella.
Merry Christmas. He got a bunch of stuff.
Xavion trying to back his way inside. Extra pass, Huntley from deep. Off the mark, this one tapped around. Coastal secures it. Linton Brown, and the Chanticleers off and running. And Jamaru slices and gets it to go.
You know, Ken, that's one of the few times they actually got something out of their primary break. Mountaineers have done a good job of getting back. Nobody stopped the ball that time. First lesson, first rule, you've got to stop the basketball.
We've got 3 Browns on the floor combined for these two teams. Jamaru and Linton for Coastal and Xavion for App State. And the Mountaineers retake the lead. Back and forth we go here late first half.
And there's Tamell Pearson back in there already contributing. Nice jump shot.
Turnaround in the paint, smooth as silk. Josh Udajay.
Donovan Gregory getting a little taste of his own medicine with the fadeaway in the lane.
Udajay, known as a straight line driver that time, showing off the touch on the mid-range.
He's really athletic and smooth. One of those guys that can get past you, and he doesn't even look like he's trying hard.
Brown's got the size advantage on Abraham. Left it short. Fight for the rebound. Huntley pulls it in. He's fouled.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't like the fact – these officials have done a great job tonight, Kim. I mean, we talked about that during the break. But when you've got a guy – posting like that, and then Abraham would appear to me to be a flop, somebody gets hurt, you know. And then with the officials not calling that, I think that really kept Xavion Brown from really finishing that play.
Gregory, fade away. Oh, did he call the bank? I didn't hear him call it.
Yeah, the banks stay open late up here in Boone, Kendall.
And App State back out in front again. Both teams just trading buckets here. Jamaru trying to drive, lost it out of bounds.
You know, one thing that watching some film, the 2 games I watched, Coastal had a hard time finishing halves, specifically the first half. So if the Mountaineers can take care of the basketball, maybe get a 3 or 4 point run right here going into the half, maybe psychologically that affects Coastal because they've done that in the past.
Jamaru Brown has played well for the shots in this first half, and Mustafa left his feet. He's charged with a foul. Good ball fake from Tamell Pearson, who's had a sensational first half for the Mountaineers.
He's been the unsung hero tonight for the Mountaineers. Rebounding, defending Mustafa down on the post, and scoring some points.
Pearson at the free throw line, misses on the first.
Now he's 80% on the year, but he hasn't been there very often. It's probably been 2 or 3 games since he's been to the free throw line.
12 of 16 on the year. Talked about his minutes. Dwindled a little bit the last couple of weeks, but tonight, what a first half from Tamell Pearson. He's already in double figures, 5 of 6 from the field. Missed both free throws.
They're going to have some back screen action. Here comes your shooter.
Jamaru Brown surveys the floor.
And they're going to run Lakai off a double baseline. Good help by the Mountaineers.
And somehow Harcum got it to Gregory, and the timer's turned off. 12 seconds on the game clock here in the first half.
You got to think Donovan Gregory's going to just take this into his own hands.
Gregory surveys with 4. Gregory steps back on the J. Huntley couldn't tap it back in time.
Yeah, after the horn.
And the first half comes to a close. So the Mountaineers, who trailed by 10 at one point in this first half, have taken the lead at halftime, 29-28. We've got a good one tonight in the high country. Half. Coastal Carolina in the teal uniforms with the white letters, white numbers, App State in the white. And we're underway in the second half here inside of the Holmes Convocation Center. Jimmy Nichols had the first 5 points for the Chanticleers to start the game, has not scored since. Here's Mustafa inside and an easy bucket. And, John, you and I feel that they may need to do a little bit more of that here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't surprise me that Cliff Ellis talked about that at halftime, and I'm sure he said, hey, look, we got to get the big fella more involved. It's going to open everything else up for us. And that's a tough matchup for a young Justin Abson. Great defender as a freshman, but he's going against a guy with a lot of tricks in Mustafa.
Huntley, catch and shoot from the corner. Off the mark, but there's a foul. Trying to corral the rebound on Coastal Carolina. And Donovan Gregory will trigger it in for the Mountaineers.
Like to see them run a couple screens for Manis, get him a good look. He's a guy that can explode offensively once he sees his first, second shot go in.
Gregory, pull up, connects. Donovan Gregory, smooth as silk from the mid-range. Give him 10 points in the ball game, and App State's back up by 1.
And Dustin Kearns making the adjustment, taking him off of the ball and letting him roam a little bit offensively, which has freed him up for that mid-range game.
And Mustafa draws the foul on Abson. He'll go to the free throw line. First free throws of the ball game coming for Coastal Carolina. Take a look at this balanced scoring attack for Coastal Carolina. You got 4 guys in double figures. And Antonio Day pushing 2/10 away from being a 5th double-figure scorer for the Chanticleers. So John, what does that do from a scouting report standpoint when you've got that type of team that's that balanced?
Well, you got to defend the whole floor. You can't just pick one guy and decide to shut him down because somebody else can just step up in his absence as far as scoring. And you just got to play great team defense. You can't shade too far one way or the other, and everybody's got to help everybody else. That's the only way you can defend a team that's got that many weapons.
Mustafa makes them both. Coastal Carolina went the entire first half without a free throw attempt, and they're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. Gregory kicks it. Boykin, NBA range. You betcha.
Deep three from Tyree Boykin, and he needs that. He needs another guy that needs to see the ball go in the basket.
He had a big game last Thursday at Marshall. Mountaineers 79-53 loss in that one, but Boykin played well. Day slicing in. Picks up his dribble. Shot clock's at 8. Nichols, nowhere to go. Turnaround, he swirls it in.
Well, I tell you, I like Nichols. I tell you, the film I watched, he jumped off the film. He's doing some nice things tonight, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity with Will Akai out.
Abraham trying to cut off the baseline. Gregory looking for Abson to cut. Instead, he'll kick it out to Harcum. Shot clock's at 5. Gregory backing in, the lob, and a turnover. That's Gregory's first turnover of the game. And it's Coastal Carolina basketball.
Shot clock running down, and C.J. Huntley just got a little bit moved off his spot by UJ.
Strong drive by Day. Abraham off a curl. All smooth as silk. Henry Abraham is dangerous when he gets his feet set.
That's 3 for 3 for him.
We mentioned 4 made threes for the Chanticleers in the first half, and I think all 4 of those came in the first 5 minutes. And Boykin with the equalizer.
Boykin, a guy that averaged close to 20 points for his career in Division II, so he can get it going, and he can get it going in a hurry.
He was the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year. Let me tell you, Division II basketball, really good for those unfamiliar. You don't average 20 of a game if you can't play. He's went for 20 plus a couple of times this year already for Dustin Kearns.
Would have liked to seen Huntley set a cross screen for Boykin. Keep the ball in his hot hands.
Huntley, deep three, knocks it down. That's a big three for C.J. Huntley.
Now you got to see if Coastal's going to adjust. Mountaineers have made some threes. Are they going to stay back, or are they going to fly out a little bit harder on their closeouts?
Abraham, 3 of 3 from downtown. Kicks it out. Udije bounces inside. Mustafa going to work. He couldn't finish it on the doorstep.
You know, that shot did not fall, but that was a good possession for the Shants, getting the ball inside at point-blank range.
Gregory off the mark. Huntley, bucket and the foul.
And C.J. Huntley has got to do more of that. At 6'11", long and athletic, he's got to crash from the weak side.
App State just 2 free throw attempts from Tamell Pearson late in the first half. He missed them both. They're 0 of 3 at the charity stripe now. Currently on an 8-0 run. Coastal had that 37-34 lead.
It's got to be a travel.
And Jamaro Brown falls to the floor, called for the travel. It looked like he just slipped, lost his footing. And they're going to wipe the floor up now.
And Don, I've been waiting to see this, see how the Mountaineers respond. Looks like they're going to do a little bit of man, maybe run and jump out of this.
Well, both the first 2 Sun Belt games, Marshall and Southern Miss showed full court pressure against the Mountaineers. And I'm surprised that we've not seen it a little bit earlier from Coastal.
Well, both those teams that they played earlier in conference outscored the Mountaineers by 20 points off turnovers. So, you know, it's there. It's just now, you know, Cliff Ellis has got to feel comfortable going after him.
Mustafa kicks it out. Linton Brown from deep. He cashes in.
And he's a great three-point shooter, 41% for the year. Another guy that can get it going in a hurry. That Mountaineers have got to find him.
Pearson, 10 points in the first half. He was big for the Mountaineers.
Maybe a little quick on that shot, but I like the shot. It's going to pull Mustafa away from the basket.
Abraham will launch from distance. Mustafa, offensive board. He's fouled. And they're going to get Pearson, the culprit on the foul for Appalachian State. That's his first, second team foul. And is Dustin Kearns going to go to his bench? Yes, he is. Debaji Walker will check in for C.J. Huntley. Here at the 14:07 mark of the second half. Linton Brown, good drop off. Mustafa fouled from behind.
Mustafa's starting to make his presence known inside on both ends.
Now you mentioned it at halftime off air, John, that he needs more touches, and they've done a great job of that here in the opening 6 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, everything they're doing offensively has been inside and out, which is completely different than what they did in the first half. Everything in the first half was perimeter-oriented off of their penetration. Now they're starting it in. They are penetrating, but instead of trying to force a shot at the rim, they're looking for Mustafa.
Mustafa's 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. 71% on the year. Goes 1 of 2 that trip. That's the first miss. Again, only 4 free throw attempts from Coastal. Just 7 combined from these two teams. Officials have done a great job and have let these two teams play tonight.
Yeah, they really have. Just a great crew. It's been a physical game, but it's been a clean physical game.
Walker lost control, dives on the floor, saves it. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Harcum just got it off in time as the shot clock expires.
Good awareness by Harcum to know how much time was left on that clock.
Mustafa faces up. He'll back his way down on Pearson.
Good double by Gregory.
Trying to get it back to him. The Mountaineers take it away. Gregory trying to drive in, had it poked loose from behind, dives on the floor, Boykin from deep, and he hits it.
Boy, what a turn of events that was, Kendall.
Tonight in double figures.
Well, the Mountaineers have been getting close to 26, 27 points a game off their bench, one of the top benches in NCAA basketball. So you don't focus as much on the starter stats when you got that kind of production coming off the bench.
Abraham couldn't hit the J. Coastal Carolina in the danger zone right now. App State's got their largest lead at 8. Boykin feeling it, couldn't knock that one down.
And I like the fact that Dustin Kearns came out of that timeout with a set to get him a shot, take advantage of how hot he's been.
And Day just slices in. Foul called on the Mountaineers.
No, actually called it a charge.
Check that. It's a charge.
I thought he was awful close to the restricted area. Of course, they had a better shot at it than we did. We'll get a look at it here on the replay, Kendall.
He got outside of the restricted area.
He kind of got there a little bit late, but he was squared up. You can be moving to take a charge as long as you're squared up. That's the important part.
Full court pressure from Cliff Ellis and the Chanticleers. A little token pressure.
Yeah, at some point they've got to crank up that pressure to test these Mountaineer guards. They've got a history of turning it over against pressure. I'm surprised he hasn't gone after him yet. Down 8 with almost 10 minutes left to play.
Boykin pressured by Jamaro Brown. Pearson with 5 on the timer. Pearson spins, fadeaway, didn't draw iron, and it's a shot clock violation. That's a good stand for the Chanticleers.
Yeah, Tamell Pearson's a really, really good.
2 minutes. What do you want to see on this possession?
Well, I think you got to run it through Mustafa again. They've got several shooters out there around him. Let him make the pass. He's a very good passer of the basketball.
Nichols, pump fake. Nowhere to go. And they'll reset at the top. Jamaro Brown, big first half. He's fouled. Driving in, that's going to be team foul number 4 on the Mountaineers.
You know, I had heard that Jamaro Brown was a tremendous penetrator getting downhill towards the basket. And boy, we've seen it tonight, Kendall. You know, Mountaineers haven't had anybody that can consistently stay in front of him.
We mentioned 3 steals in the first half. 6 points off those takeaways. Strips the net on the first.
91% free throw shooter. This also gives Coastal a chance to get in their pressure, and we haven't seen them ramp it up yet, but we're reaching a point where they need to do something to excite themselves and basically get them back into this ball game. It's only a 6-point lead, but it seems like it's a 10 or a 15-point lead.
Jamaro Brown, 6th in the Sun Belt Conference in steals. He averages just shy of 2 per contest. He's already got 3 in this game tonight. Had all 3 of those in the first half. Mantis elevates. Thought he was hit. Out of bounds. Dustin Kearns pleading with the officials. He thought that Mantis was tapped on the elbow, which threw his shot off.
Well, that's the first air ball I've seen him shoot this year. And, well, I take that back. He had another one earlier this evening when he slipped. But, yeah, something happened, and it was right in front of Coach Kearns, so he obviously saw it. He's too good a shooter to be shooting an air ball from 12 feet.
Trying to feed it inside of Mustafa. This one's tapped out of bounds.
I tell you what, despite giving up 25 pounds, Tamell Pearson's done an excellent job on Mustafa down in the post.
That was the one spot tonight that we wondered, does App State have an answer for Mustafa underneath? Of course, Justin Abson, one of the best shot blockers in the country. He's a load inside, and there he is, right place at the right time. Good drop-off and dish from Jamaro Brown.
Yeah, slow rotation by the Mountaineers defense, but that all starts from that that tremendous penetration and attacking mindset that Jamal Brown brings to the game.
Gregory falling away, gets it to go. Donovan Gregory may be one of the better.
Against two top 70 ranked teams, and they're teams that you haven't played before, so you don't have a lot of film, you don't have any history with them to base what you're going to do going into that game.
Mustafa, 2 more. Give him 9 points. Coastal's back within 4. Huntley, catch and release. Mantis intercepts the pass. He's got numbers. The lob, Huntley, alley-oop.
Boy, nice hesitation coming up the floor by Mantis to let C.J. Huntley get in there and in behind of the Coastal defense.
All of a sudden, there's life in the building. Mustafa inside. He spins on Absent. Kicks it back out. Abraham all alone. That's as clean a look as he'll get. In transition. Huntley can't convert on the doorstep.
Mountaineers playing a man down.
Brown could knock it down from 3.
Justin Absent was down after that last attempt down on the Mountaineers' goal. Looks like he's okay.
And Absent goes up top.
Yeah, it really looks like he's okay, doesn't he? No worse for wear on that.
All the momentum in the Appalachian State favor. Henry Abraham surveys. Bounce feed inside of Mustafa. Good drop off, and Brown converts. Little high-low action for Coastal Carolina.
Boy, nice wrap-around pass down low by Mustafa.
And that silences the crowd momentarily. Much-needed bucket for the Chanticleers.
Well, I tell you what, I'd hate to bring the ball up on Jamal Brown. He is just quick on quick.
Huntley will launch again from deep. It's short. Nichols.
He's left-handed, going to the middle.
Smooth as silk over Huntley. That's 2 long bodies in their battle.
Yeah, it sure was. Good patience by Nichols to let kind of traffic clear out a little bit in front of the rim. Nice baby jump hook.
Linton Brown poked it free of Gregory momentarily. There's the hands of Jamaro Brown again, getting after it. Loose ball picked up by Boykin, and he can't hit from 3.
Had to put that up. Shot clock was running down.
Big possession upcoming for Coastal Carolina. Abraham, quick crossover. Jamaro for 3. Offensive board, Abraham from straight away. In and out, and rebound to the Mountaineers.
2 good looks for Coastal, just couldn't get them to drop.
If you're Cliff Ellis, you live with those 2 looks there. It's about as clean as you're going to get. Good back cut, and Boykin's fouled.
Good clean hard foul.
And there's some words being exchanged between Jamaro Brown and Tyree Boykin as both teams and the officials convene. We'll take a break. 6:39. We'll be right back.
I think the officials made the right decision. I didn't see anything flagrant. A little chippiness afterwards. But this has been too good a ball game to, let one team gain too much from something like that by calling a flagrant or a technical foul.
Tyree Boykin, 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Double figures with 13 points tonight for the Mountaineers. He's played well. Henry Abraham surveying the floor.
Mustafa not out there, down on the block. It looks like they're looking really hard to find a 3.
Udije got to put it up. 3 on the timer. And I don't think Blackman got it off. He didn't get it off in time. 1 too many passes for Coastal. They didn't get it off in time. A shot clock violation.
Well, you got to tip your hat to the Mountaineers, too. Good job of staying squared up, not allowing any penetration, forcing the shots to just pass it around the perimeter until the shot clock ran out.
That's a possession that Coastal could look back on that could be a difference here down the stretch. One that they needed, trailing by 5, and they pick up a foul.
And I was wondering when the Mountaineers were going to find that matchup with Henry Abraham trying to guard Chris Mantis, and Mantis finally took him down on the block and tried to post him up and got a foul. They need to continue to go to that. Abraham's given up 7 inches to Chris Mantis.
Boykin looking for space. Pearson off balance. Rebound pulled in by the Chanticleers.
Mustafa back in there, really bothered that shot by Pearson.
Does Coastal have enough in the tank here in the final 5:31? Mustafa off balance, and Huntley pulls in the rebound.
They're going to have to find a way to get that shot to go down. I like the idea of going inside. Got a chance to score and possibly stop the clock, go to the free throw line.
Xavion Brown in for the Mountaineers. Dangerous pass. Brown got a hand on it. Boykin, long range. Here's Jamaro attacking and fouled. That's the 5th team foul on the Mountaineers. We'll take a second look here. Tyree Boykin on the reach-in.
I think they might have gotten Chris Mantis on. I don't know who they gave it to. Both guys reached in. It looked like Mantis.
They got Boykin.
They got Boykin.
They gave it to Boykin.
What they're going to try to do here, they're going to swing it around on the weak side and try to get the ball inside to Mustafa. They are always trying to score in the post on their basket out of bounds plays. Should come off a high screen, swing it around.
Udije off the mark. Mustafa saves it back in play.
Oh, good
back
pass.
door. And rejected by Huntley. Jamaro Brown sets his feet. Can't hit. Pearson last to touch it. It'll stay with the Chanticleers.
And Dustin Kearns is upset because he thought there should have been a shot clock violation. But I'm pretty sure the ball hit the rim, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it touched iron. Donovan Gregory going to check back in for Xavion Brown. Quick breather for Donovan Gregory. And crunch time here in the Holmes Convocation Center. App State looking for their first Sun Belt victory of the season. Can they hang on to this 5-point lead? Abraham. Kick out. Nichols open. You betcha.
Wow.
Jimmy Nichols cashes in from 3, and we've got a 2-point game.
That's his first 3 since the first minute of the game, isn't it, Kendall?
And Coastal's gotten some clean looks, John, the last few minutes. They just haven't fallen.
Now they got to get a stop. They got to dig in.
Gregory looking to create. Picks up his dribble. Mantis feeds it inside. Pearson. Mustafa poked it loose. And Pearson dives on the floor. He'll call a timeout.
Tyree Boykin to get something off of a couple screens and a quick shot.
Boykin has to get it off. And missed everything. It's a shot clock violation.
Yeah,
and the ball goes back to Coastal with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Yeah, Kendall, Coastal did a good job of pushing all those screens out. So Boykin really didn't have much of a shot once he got the basketball. Too far from the basket.
You got to think they funneled this through Mustafa inside, right? At
I
least
would
get a
think
touch here. There it is.
He's got to touch the ball. He's such a great passer, too.
Mustafa backing his man down. Just a wild shot, though. And his footwork was all off there, John. He just missed it. And then a foul.
Well, he had the bigger defender on him, Justin Abson, the big freshman, 6'9", 245, 250. And Abson, I think, just kind of gave ground, and Mustafa wasn't ready for it.
That was a golden opportunity for the Chanticleers. And for Cliff Ellis's crew, they couldn't convert. Can they continue to make stops down the stretch? Just 3:07 left to play. Gregory likes the fadeaway. Good drop off inside. How about the dish?
What a pass. There's your senior leader right there. How he got that ball to Justin Abson through Mustafa is just incredible.
4-point lead.
He had his back turned when Mustafa came to double.
Brown attacking. Coastal, they wanted a goaltend, didn't get it.
And C.J. Huntley got a piece of the ball, and I don't know if it was in the cylinder or not.
But I know 4-on-4. Boykin, open look. Nichols skies for the rebound. Long pass up the floor. Jamaro dumps it off. Mustafa lays it in. Wow, what a crazy turn of events. Huntley and Jamaro Brown were on the baseline while it was 4-on-4 on the other end.
And Dustin Kearns, guys have got to figure this out on the floor. He's only got one timeout left, and I'm sure he's saving it with 2 minutes left to go in this game.
Gregory, floater, can't get the roll. Fight for the rebound. And this one's saved right to Jamaro Brown. And Coastal a chance to tie or take the lead again. Brown to the bucket and score it.
Oh,
goaltending.
That's just not a good play by C.J. Huntley.
They're going to look at this.
Well, the rule states, Kendall, that if the ball hits the backboard, the block cannot happen, regardless of whether it's below the rim or not.
Let's take a look. Did it touch the glass first? It
definitely came across.
It did.
So C.J. Huntley cannot block that shot, regardless of whether it was going in or not.
This is probably going to stand, and we're going to have a tie ball game at 58. Coastal Carolina and Appalachian State, would you expect anything less? They've had some battles on the hardwood. We mentioned App State's got a 9-3 advantage in the series. They've won the last 4. And last year, a game that went to overtime between these two teams.
Yeah, it's always hard fought. It's always well played. I want to compliment the officials again. They've done a great job. Just an outstanding job. Neither team's, we've got 1:36 to play, Kendall. Neither team's even in the bonus yet. And it's been a well-played game. It's been a physical game, but it's been a game that's been completely under control and managed well by these officials.
Absolutely agree with you there. And goaltending is the call. We are tied at 58. And the crowd didn't like it at all, but it was the right call.
Well, by the letter of the rule and how it's stated, the officials have no other recourse than to count the basket, regardless of whether it was going in or not. You got to leave it alone if it's hit the glass.
Coastal's going to pick up the Mountaineers full court here with 1:36. Abson, Huntley, Harcum, Boykin, Gregory on the floor. Mustafa, Nichols, Jamaro Brown, Linton Brown, and Henry Abraham on the floor for Coastal Carolina.
Well, I tell you, if I was Donovan Gregory, I would have brought that up myself rather than have Tyree Boykin bring it up on Jamaro Brown. He's just such a great defender.
Boykin wants it back. He'll launch from deep.
Big
He's got it.
Big shot. Jamaro Brown tried to pull the charge, and the officials weren't there who made his last 3 from the top of the key.
Jamaro Brown with the basketball. Attacking.
There he is.
Nichols thought about it. Shot fake. He'll go with a floater. In and out. Trying to tip it back up. He can't do so. And Boykin secures the rebound. He's fouled.
I don't understand why Jimmy Nichols didn't shoot that three-point shot at 6'8", and the 6'3" Xavion Brown closing out on him. I think he would have got that shot off, and he just made one a couple minutes earlier from that exact same spot.
Just rimmed in and out for Jimmy Nichols on that floater. You're right. You might, sure, if he'd have had that one back, he'd have pulled the trigger on the three. But Tyree Boykin at the free throw line. Second trip tonight. He went 1 of 2 earlier in this second half. On the 1-and-1. Clangs it in and out. The door's still open for the shot to clears.
And they've got to attack. They've just got to attack the rim and see what happens from there.
Off balance, soft rim. Jamaro Brown gets the bounce in a 1-point game.
And you don't have to foul if you're Coastal Carolina. You still have plenty of time left on the shot clock.
Xavion Brown pressured by Jamaro. One of the best defenders in the Sun Belt. Blocking foul called.
Now he did foul Xavion Brown, who is only a 43% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
So they did pick the right guy, whether it was inadvertent or intentional. And Xavion Brown's probably got the 2 biggest free throws of his career coming up in front of him. Actually, it's a 1-and-1. They're not in the double bonus yet.
Xavion Brown, as John just mentioned, only 43% at the free throw line. Missed it. Mustafa the rebound.
You got 2 Mountaineers trailing the play. They fell down.
Brown kicking. Linton Brown for 3. Off the mark. Tapped right back to Jamaro. Blocked away. Cliff Ellis wants a foul. Loose ball on the floor. And a timeout. Coastal Carolina, it's granted.
And where did Donovan Gregory come from to block that shot?
Jamaro Brown with the basketball. Shot clock turned off. Game clock at 11.
Pick and roll for Mustafa.
Brown
that's a walk.
Driving. He's fouled by Xavion Brown.
Oh, that has to be a walk, Kendall.
And Dustin Kearns is irate.
And he's got to be careful. You can't get a technical foul in this situation. That's only the 6th foul on the Mountaineers, though. Unless they call the shooting foul, they won't be shooting free throws.
And now Dustin Kearns is saying it's on the floor.
And I agree with him. I think it should be.
He's going to the free throw line. And this place is loud. Brown makes on the first. My goodness.
We'll get a look at this. And a whistle was not blown until he started to fall. I didn't see a shot, Kendall.
And now they're going to call timeout and try to ice him a little bit. So, John, we're tied at 61. There's 8.4 seconds left. If he makes this one, still plenty of time for the Mountaineers to win the game.
Yeah, and both teams are out of timeout, so you got a lot of things that could happen here. You got to send the guys out there if you're Dustin Kearns, who, if they miss this free throw, you can go to the length of the court quickly. Secondly, you got to secure that rebound and not allow a great offensive rebounding team to get a second shot. Lastly, if they do make the free throw, you better have your press attack set, because I guarantee you Coastal Carolina is going to come with some type of pressure. I don't think it'll be hard pressure if they're ahead by 1, but it'll be some type of floating pressure to make the Mountaineers pass the ball up the floor rather than dribble it up the floor.
Wow. 8.4 seconds left. App State chasing their first Sun Belt victory of the season. They've got a date with James Madison on Saturday night in front of a national audience at 8 o'clock on ESPNU. Coastal Carolina looking to go 2-1 in Sun Belt play. This is a Chanticleer's team that, coming off of a loss to Georgia Southern, 73-64. So they really need this one. You talk about two teams that, with their backs against the wall early.
And Jamal Brown has not missed a free throw tonight, 91% on the season. So that's the guy Cliff Ellis wants there.
One of the best free throw shooters in the country, and Coastal one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. makes them both. Clutch at the charity stripe is Jamaro Brown. And Coastal Carolina has a 1-point lead with 8.4 seconds left.
And they had this same situation a couple games ago. They went 1-3-1, 3 quarters. Looks like they're trying to do the same thing to make the Mountaineers burn a little clock.
Now they back off. Boykin, catch and shoot. Off the mark.
Huntley
taps it back with 0.9 seconds remaining. Long pass. Picked off by Abson.
C.J. Huntley
wins it.
C.J. Huntley with the stick back with 0.3 on the clock. Wow, what a finish.
My goodness. And App State picks up their first Sun Belt victory of the season.
The great offensive rebound.